I thought that maybe there was like a chance that you could come back later, but
no,
damn, I'm so sorry.
No.
The night of August 17th was supposed to be just another WNBA regular season game, but it quickly turned into one of the most heartbreaking scenes fans have witnessed this year. Midway through the second quarter, Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham went down in a way that immediately sent chills through the arena. 1 second she was defending, locked in as always, and the next she was clutching her knee, writhing on the hardwood floor in visible agony. The crowd, once buzzing with excitement, suddenly fell silent. Even the broadcasters' voices trembled as they described what looked like a serious injury.
Through the locker room, this is the play that just occurred.
It's like she tries to slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that lower leg. You see her immediately grab it.
In moments like this, it doesn't matter what team you cheer for, seeing an athlete collapse like that makes everyone stop and hold their breath. The game itself seemed to disappear as teammates and medics rushed towards Sophie, their faces painted with concern. What unfolded wasn't just another basketball play, it was the kind of moment that reminds us of the fragility of a career built on hard work, sweat, and sacrifice. And when the initial shock wore off, everyone had one question on their mind. Just how bad was this injury?
Sophie Cunningham was targeted, y'all. I'm telling you right now, Sophie Cunningham was targeted by Bria Hartley, and it just is what it is. It is what it is. I don't want to sit here and play games and act like, you know, she wasn't. She was targeted by Bria Hartley, and that's just the fact of the matter.
Replays confirmed the devastating sequence. As Sophie positioned herself defensively, Connecticut guard Bria Hartley lost her footing. Hartley slipped, tumbling forward, and her body rolled directly into Cunningham's planted right leg. The contact was awkward, sudden, and unavoidable. Sophie's reaction told the story immediately. She hopped briefly on her left leg while clutching her right knee, then collapsed onto the floor, her face twisted in pain. It wasn't the kind of fall an athlete just shakes off.
We got Sophie Cunningham writhing around in pain, definitely hurt, and Sophie's one tough cookie. If Sophie's kicking and screaming like this, no Will Ferrell. She's in pain.
Teammates dropped to their knees beside her, motioning urgently for trainers. Fans covered their mouths in disbelief, knowing this wasn't just a routine bump or bruise. The building, once loud with the intensity of a close contest, became eerily quiet as medical staff examined her on the baseline. In those tense minutes, it was clear this was something serious. Sophie eventually needed help to leave the court, unable to put weight on her injured leg. Moments like these are gut-wrenching, not just because of the injury itself, but because of what they represent. Cunningham had been playing some of her best basketball of the season, and now her future hung in the balance after one freak collision.
Just days later, the Indiana Fever confirmed what fans had feared. Sophie Cunningham had suffered a torn medial collateral ligament, or MCL, in her right knee. The team announced the diagnosis with a heavy heart, making it clear this was a season-ending injury. For athletes, hearing those two words is devastating. It means months of rehab, missed games, and the frustration of sitting on the sidelines. To understand the seriousness, the MCL is one of the key stabilizing ligaments of the knee. A tear not only makes movement painful, but makes it impossible to compete at the highest level without medical intervention. Within days, Sophie underwent surgery to repair the damage. Team doctors reassured fans that she was expected to make a full recovery, but emphasized the road ahead would not be easy. Recovery timelines for an injury like this often stretch into 8 or 9 months.
This is Bria Hartley right here, grinning from ear to ear with Sophie Cunningham smiling. I mean, that's despicable, folks. There's no other way to look at it. Yeah, how about this right here? That chick grinning after Caitlin Clark got slammed to the ground. And then this chick. I mean, really?
The Fever's official statement was professional, yet you could feel the disappointment behind the words. Sophie's season, filled with promise and momentum, was suddenly over. Still, the silver lining was clear. Unlike an ACL tear, her injury wasn't career-threatening. For fans and teammates, that gave hope. What makes Sophie Cunningham stand out isn't just her toughness on the court, but her resilience and humor off it. Shortly after surgery, she gave fans an update on her podcast.
God, I am going to be done for the rest of the season, so that kind of sucks. So our next...
And instead of dwelling on frustration, she lightened the mood. Laughing, she shared the doctors had told her, "For my age, my knees are looking real nice." It was vintage Sophie, finding a way to inject positivity into a difficult moment.
She openly discussed adjusting to the aftermath of surgery, from dealing with pain medication to the grind of early rehab. Instead of hiding the hard parts, she brought fans into her journey, making them feel like part of her recovery process. That transparency only deepened the respect people already had for her. More importantly, her message was clear. She wasn't broken by this injury. She was determined, optimistic, and already thinking about the road back. For Indiana Fever fans, hearing Sophie speak with such confidence was reassuring. It showed that while her season was over, her spirit was far from shaken. In fact, it reminded everyone why she's admired as not just a player, but as a person who embodies resilience.
The aftermath of Sophie's injury was felt not only by fans, but deeply within the Indiana Fever locker room. Teammates and coaches spoke with both sadness and determination, knowing how much Sophie meant to their season. Star forward Aaliyah Boston put it best. "We came in at halftime, we talked about chipping away, being resilient. That's been our story this entire season." Her words captured the reality. This team had faced adversity all year, and losing Sophie was another tough chapter. Head coach Stephanie White echoed that sentiment. Rather than dwelling on what they had lost, she urged her team to focus on the present. "We have to be where our feet are. Take it one day at a time." Her message was clear. The Fever couldn't afford to crumble. For many players, Sophie's energy had been a spark. She wasn't just a shooter, she was a vocal leader who lifted spirits in tense moments. Her absence left an emotional hole, but also created a rallying point. The team knew they would have to fight harder, not only for their playoff hopes, but to honor the grit Sophie brought to every game. After the fall, social media lit up with a viral photo that showed Connecticut guard Bria Hartley smiling while Sophie lay on the court in pain. To many fans, the image looked insensitive, sparking speculation that Hartley had acted recklessly or even intentionally. The narrative gained traction quickly, with frustration pouring in online.
But Sophie Cunningham herself stepped in to set the record straight. On her podcast, she dismissed the controversy entirely.
I don't think that there was no ill intent. I think it was basketball play. I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. She felt like there's no way that she would go in there and intentionally try to hurt me. And so I have nothing but love for Bria.
Defending Hartley as a close friend. "I have nothing but love for Bria. She would never try to hurt me. It was just a basketball play. I was in the wrong spot at the wrong time." Her words cut through the noise, showing grace and maturity in the face of heated speculation. By standing up for Hartley, Sophie reminded everyone what true sportsmanship looks like. She didn't fuel negativity or blame. Instead, she chose understanding. Fans who had been angry at Hartley softened their stance, realizing the photo didn't capture the full truth of the moment. In a league that thrives on competitiveness, Sophie showed compassion, a quality just as powerful as her toughness on the court.
The timing of Sophie's injury couldn't have been worse for the Indiana Fever. She had been one of their most reliable contributors, averaging 8.6 points per game while shooting an impressive 46.9% from the field and an elite 43.2% from beyond the arc. Just a week earlier, she torched her former team, the Phoenix Mercury, for 18 points, drilling 5 three-pointers in a statement performance. She was hitting her stride at exactly the moment Indiana needed her most. Unfortunately, the Fever were already battling a wave of injuries. Rookie star Caitlin Clark was sidelined with a groin issue, Ari McDonald was out with a foot injury, and Sydney Colson had been lost to an ACL tear. Sophie's absence only deepened the backcourt crisis. To fill the void, Indiana signed veteran guard Shea Petty to a hardship contract, hoping her experience could steady the rotation.
Still, losing Sophie's shooting and energy was a crushing blow. She provided spacing that opened opportunities for teammates like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. Without her, the Fever's offense risked becoming more predictable. For a team clinging to playoff hopes, Sophie's injury changed everything. To fully grasp the weight of this injury, you have to understand Sophie Cunningham's journey. She entered the WNBA in 2019 as a fiery guard from Missouri, known for her grit and three-point shooting. Over 6 seasons, she carved out a reputation as a relentless competitor, never afraid of contact and always bringing energy. Her breakout came in 2022 with the Phoenix Mercury, where she averaged over 12 points per game and became a key part of their offense.
When she was traded to Indiana in early 2025, many questioned the move, but Sophie quickly proved her value. Her leadership, toughness, and sharp shooting made her a perfect fit. By midseason, she wasn't just a role player. She was a starter, a voice in the locker room, and someone teammates relied on. This isn't the first setback Sophie has faced. She's fought through multiple surgeries in the past, returning every time with the same fiery spirit. That resilience is part of her identity. Fans know she'll attack this rehab the same way she approaches every game, with intensity, humor, and determination to come back stronger.
As soon as news of Sophie's injury broke, fans across the league rallied behind her. Social media was filled with messages of support, prayers, and love for one of the league's most likable players. Fever fans shared photos of her signing autographs, taking time with kids, and spreading joy beyond the court, reminding everyone why she's so beloved. Her younger sister Lindsay even spoke out, venting her frustration at the incident and calling for better protection of players. Former teammates like Diana Taurasi and current WNBA stars also sent messages of encouragement, proving Sophie's impact stretches far beyond just Indiana.
What stood out most, though, was Sophie's own response. Even while recovering, she thanked fans for their support and continued to show her trademark humor. By being transparent about her pain and recovery, she turned what could have been an isolating moment into a shared experience. Fans didn't just sympathize, they felt connected. Moments like this remind us how much these athletes mean to their communities. Sophie isn't just a player on the court, she's a role model, a fighter, and someone fans feel proud to support no matter what.
Sophie Cunningham's season may have ended in heartbreak, but her story is far from over. A torn MCL is serious, but doctors and the team have made it clear she will make a full recovery. The timeline is long, likely 8 to 9 months, but Sophie has shown time and time again that setbacks only fuel her drive. For the Indiana Fever, her absence is a painful blow in a season already defined by resilience. Yet it also serves as a rallying cry. Teammates will carry her spirit with them, knowing Sophie would be the first to fight for every loose ball, every three-point shot, every win. For fans, this injury is a reminder of how fragile sports can be, but it's also a chance to witness something powerful, the comeback. Sophie has inspired with her play. Now she'll inspire with her perseverance. So the question isn't if she'll return, it's how strong she'll be when she does. And if history tells us anything, Sophie Cunningham will step back onto the court not just as the same player, but as an even stronger version of herself.